Alright, hello there, and I just want to take a minute to say thank you for buying one of these fuel kits from me. I thought I'd just make a short video on what you're going to get when you open up the box. Part of what I do is I actually go to a local metal supply place and I go to what they call the drop zone. And what that is that's all the cutoffs. So I get it a whole lot cheaper than if I was to be buying brand new stuff that I'd have to get in 12-foot lengths that I don't foresee needing right now. Plus it helps keep the cost down because a lot of times I'll go in there and I'll come out with a couple of pieces and they'll say, I just take it, don't even worry about it. Other times I think the most I've spent walking in there is like 10 bucks, so you know, you can't quite beat that. So when you open up the box, what you're going to get is this flat plate with your filter heads already bolted onto it. You're also going to get an angle piece. I am not a machinist. However, I try. I have an end mill that I run through my drill press, so I've tried to elongate the hole so you've got some minor adjustability here. The only problem is these holes aren't quite that exact. Sorry. They still give you some adjustability though. And then you're going to get your hoses, and you're going to get two different size fittings. One of these fittings will have a small end. That's your inlet. One of the fittings will have a bigger end. That's your outlet to your motor. And the reason I don't bother putting these on, this is what's called an O-ring boss fitting, okay? So I don't know if you can see that. There's like a washer here and a rubber O-ring, and this actually spins to tighten it. So, unfortunately, you've got a little work to do. What you'll do is you'll pop off this red cap, and you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but one side says in, and the other side says out. Big JIC fitting goes in here, small one goes in here. These are both the same size, so you got to kind of watch that, okay? So what you'll do is you'll pop the cap off, you'll take this, and you'll spin it in however tight you feel if you want to go. You don't have to go all that tight. Definitely take it down though to the O-ring, and then what you'll do is you'll take a 1-inch wrench and you'll spin this here so it tightens down, so it collapses that O-ring. What should end up happening is you'll see the metal washer. You should not see any part of that O-ring when it's tightened in. The other reason I'm not doing this and putting those on there is when you put your hoses on, you want to get everything on and assembled before you tighten these. Alright, so spin everything in loose, bolt this here all in place, and then once you got your hoses on here, don't tighten them yet, just snug them on here, finger tight, then you can go ahead and tighten that nut. Being JIC fittings, you do not have to over tighten the end that you put on here. Spin it there finger tight, and maybe at most quarter turn just to get it snug on there, and that will be enough. If you go over that, you're going to screw the fitting up. Don't screw up the fitting. Alright? This piece, not bolted on because that increases the size of the box. You will have 2 bolts to put in here, okay? Everything else is tightened up on here. So you'll take this, put it on there, run your 2 bolts in, and then when you take off your filter that's already on there, you're going to pull the line off of the tank, you're going to pull the line off the injection pump, and then you can undo the lines at the filter housing, then unbolt your filter housing. We're only going to reuse 2 of the 3 bolts, and then it's a 3/8 bolt. You can either reuse the bolts that you had holding that filter housing on. It's a fine thread, so I kind of like using those because they won't loosen up over time. Coarse thread technically could loosen up over time a lot easier than a fine thread. Put this in place, run your line from your tank to your input, run your line from your output up to your injection pump, then go ahead and tighten everything down, and away you go. It's pretty basic. When you put your filters on here, You want to fill them with diesel before you put them on. Put them on, open up your relief valve on the plunger, plunge away until you get fuel. My 5-ton took me all of maybe 6 or 7 pumps, and I had fuel gushing out of it. So when you come pushing in on that last time, close that valve off, lock your plunger in place, hop in the truck, turn it over. It should start on its own. You should not need ether. Worst case scenario, if you're kind of like here where it's getting a little chillier, you might want to give it just a small shot of ether just to help it get started up. But it should start to draw fuel right away as long as you filled up your filters, and you're good to go. I'm going to try and get a video together somewhere in the next week here, installing one of these onto a buddy's truck. If I can, I'll make sure I get it posted up. But again, I thank you very much for trusting in me and buying these. Believe me, you can't go wrong. My truck barely idled, and that was from the day I got it. I put this setup on here. My truck will idle smooth all day long. My acceleration's a lot better. I can't complain. Love it. So, enjoy, fellas, and thanks again.